India, US, Japan, Australia come together to checkmate China. Is a military alliance next on the cards? This tectonic tilt unnerves the dragon. Also on the show, the first view of the Super BrahMos on India First. It's a huge boost to India's arsenal. More Chinese air bases now in range. Democracies unite to checkmate China. That's our top focus on India First. So the shared aim is to ensure rule-based order in the Indo-Pacific. Is the shared threat an increasingly belligerent and expansionist China? How does India intend to counter this expansionist China? We'll tell you about the story of the supersonic cruise missile BrahMos with the extended range. We'll also tell you about how India, United States, Australia and Japan are coming together for a shared aim, but will this take form of a military alliance in the years to come? And does this mean that the cherished goal of non-alignment is now past its sell-by date? I'm Gaurav Sawant. We'll explore answers as always. Let's get started with the headlines. So this was a very important meeting of the external affairs ministers of India, United States, Australia and Japan. They met in Tokyo despite the COVID-19 pandemic. Now, when you look at the US Secretary of State Mike Pompeo, he cancelled a couple of meetings in Seoul and Ulaanbaatar but came to Tokyo. This, several analysts say, show the importance of the Quad grouping that's coming together, a grouping that has China extremely perturbed. Geeta Mohan gets you our top story tonight.
A picture speaks 1,000 words. In this case, these pictures will hurt China like the impact of 1,000 bullets. India, USA, Japan and Australia coming together in Tokyo and committing to ensure free, open and inclusive Indo-Pacific. This is China's worst nightmare coming true, with a strategic alliance taking place to checkmate China. External Affairs Minister D.S. Jaishankar spelled out India's priorities.
These consultations on regional and global issues of common interest are important for all of us.
At the Tokyo meeting, India emphasized on 5 major points, including Japan and US and Australia echoed India's views on freedom of navigation in international waters. US Secretary of State Mike Pompeo was emphatic in his assertion that free and open Indo-Pacific marked the foundation of regional peace and stability.
Mr. Jaishankar, it's great to be with you all again. I'm glad we could all meet here in Tokyo so soon after the new Suga administration has taken office. I'm confident that we can build on the good work of former Prime Minister Abe, a deeply valued friend of each of our 3 countries. The strength of our collaboration is a proud testament to his vision and legacy and a testament to the enduring power of democracy to bring free peoples together.
US, Australia, Japan and India have been battling an increasing assertive and combative China. New Delhi has in the past insisted it's not a part of any military alliance but working with like-minded countries for rule-based order. The Chinese have been sending signals of warning should the Quad try to become a cohesive alliance and force to counter China in the region.
A serious diplomatic and strategic effort by Quad nations to come together and fight Chinese assertiveness in the Indo-Pacific. India, Japan, Australia and the United States of America have come together, elevating the conversations and engagement to foreign ministers level. But the big question is, will Australia be included in the Malabar military exercises sooner than later and respond to China's threats on this cohesive alliance that China is worried about. In New Delhi, Geeta Mohan for India Today.
So is this symbolic? Is this substantive? What will come out of this Quad meeting, and why is China feeling so uncomfortable about the Quad foreign ministers meeting? Joining me on the broadcast is Ambassador Neelam Deo. Ambassador Neelam Deo will give us the diplomatic perspective. She's India's former ambassador to Denmark and to countries in Africa. Also joining us is Vice Admiral Shekhar Sinha, former Commander-in-Chief of the Western Naval Fleet. Also with me is our Foreign Affairs Editor Geeta Mohan. And Geeta, I believe China is very uncomfortable about Quad. They see it as a clique. They see it as a military threat. Geeta.
Well, absolutely. The Chinese Foreign Ministry already reacting to the statements in the past. They've come out and said that that they hope these countries are not going to work against Chinese interests, but hope to work towards the regional stability, growth and prosperity. It is a sign of how rattled really China is. And to your question, Gaurav, on whether if this is just optics or there is substantive business when it comes to Quad, it is substantive. There is a lot that the countries have at stake when it comes to regional stability, freedom of navigation, so on and so forth. And all those areas were discussed. On the Malabar question, we have been asking this because it's been quite a while that Australia is to be a part of the Malabar exercise, and we'll have to wait and see whether if they will be included in the November Malabar exercise or not. The announcement not being made does not mean that Australia will not be a part of the Malabar exercise, but it certainly means that there still are certain areas, niggling areas that maybe the Quad countries have to look at before really having a quadrilateral military exercise. Having said that, the messaging from Pompeo, from Jaishankar,
what's
from
extremely
Spain,
interesting
and,
is
from the Japanese foreign minister,
yes,
was exact in terms of South China Sea.
In South China Sea, absolutely open sea lanes of communication and rule-based order. Geeta, stay with me. But let me bring in Ambassador Neelam Deo. In your appreciation, Ambassador, is this the first step towards perhaps a military alliance to checkmate China? And is this the end of India's non-alignment path so far?
You know, I think we live in a new era, and I think we need to think with new terminology. Every time some countries...
Ma'am, can I request you to turn off the audio on your television, please? There'll be a lot of echo otherwise.
Whether it is an alliance or not. And even if it is an alliance, even if it is an alliance, I think it has to be understood that it is not an alliance of the NATO variety. It's a coming together of countries. It's countries that are having a lot of exercises, even if all four have not exercised together. But there are a lot of trilateral exercises. Countries are learning to work together. And yes, it does have a message to a China which is very expansionist at the moment, which is being very aggressive in the statements. Its whole wolf warriors phase a couple of months ago. It's picking fights with everybody that it can find right now. But does this mean that we have become a, Asian NATO, as some people used to talk about? I don't think so.
Okay, it's not an Asian NATO, but it's an alliance that appears to be forming. And Admiral Sinha, this is an alliance to checkmate China, that's for sure. But is this an alliance to checkmate China just in the Indo-Pacific, or do you see a wider role? Because from what, Ambassador Jaishankar or Foreign Minister Jaishankar said, he spoke of disputes being sorted out amicably and peacefully, an indication about what's happening in Ladakh, perhaps without the threat of force.
Thank you, Gaurav. Always a pleasure to be on your program. I want to make one thing very, very clear to our viewers. that the Malabar exercise is often confused with the Quad, which is going on. In fact, right now they are not linked. The main exercise for the Quad right now is to define the charter as to what they're going to do, and some of it is being mentioned by the 4 foreign ministers. As you know, this is the second meeting. Last year, September also there's a meeting had taken place on the sidelines of some other bigger meeting. Having said that, let me also say that the Quad, if it has said that it is free and open sea and it is freedom of navigation, then obviously it also means that to ensure that whatever actions are required to be taken, these 4 countries will take that action. Now, how will they take the action? Because Malabar framework is already existing, and therefore I do not foresee that any mention of this, alliance or any cooperation in the military field is likely to be discussed, to my mind, because Quad doesn't have that charter right now, unless in this meeting they link it that, 4 countries' navies will come together. We have to look at Malabar at the moment slightly different from Quad. And we will see that, possibly institutionalization of the Quad headquarter, etc. is done. Australia being invited, I have full sort of confidence that they will be invited, but this need not be the agenda of Quad meeting, Gaurav, because, really speaking, right now, these two are not linked. But general impression is that, the Quad also means Malabar.
Fair enough.
At the moment, not really. So, but certainly it is a warning to China.
Ambassador Neelam Deo, in your appreciation, this charter of Quad that we are talking about, does this charter of Quad mean that to ensure sea lanes of communication are kept open, or South China Sea and East China Sea, if China is being belligerent? We've had the Indian Navy carry out a patrol with the US Navy in South and East China Sea, and this had China very, very unhappy. How is China, in your opinion, likely to take this and react to this? Ambassador Deo, can you hear me? Let me take that question to Geeta Mohan for a moment as we fix our audio with Ambassador Neelam Deo. But Geeta, China last time had reacted very angrily, said if countries come together, it's good, but if they come together against a country, then it's not good. But will this put China on the back foot, or do we see more Chinese belligerence in Ladakh if India is a part of Quad?
Well, Australia, you mean, Gaurav. The fact is that the Quad, the name comes from Quadrilateral Security Dialogue, which is what was initiated by Shinzo Abe. There was a reason why the Quadrilateral Security Dialogue was initiated, because of the Chinese assertiveness in the entire region. And if we're talking about how to take on China, while all countries, if you see individually, are taking on China, be it economically or for that matter, the breaking of any kind of strategic coordination between Australia and China, India and China, for that matter, United States of America and China. But the next step would be, and this is not a conversation that has not happened before, it has been happening for a very long time now. Australia has always wanted to be a part of the quadrilateral military exercise as well. And while it might not be the Malabar, but it could be in any other form or name, but there has to be a cohesion of thoughts. And in that, I do believe that if you're looking at a quadrilateral security dialogue, then that security dialogue will have to and should include military component. When is it going to happen? How are the countries going to announce it? Is the Quad's prerogative.
No, but this is at a very nascent stage, Admiral Sinha. I mean, God forbid, should the balloon go up, we don't expect the US, Japan and Australia to come to India's aid at this point of time, because militarily the threat is only to India at this point of time. So this is what? Intelligence sharing about movement of Chinese ships and submarines, other intelligence, or is there any other level that this relationship is being taken forward at this stage?
Well, at this stage, India already has a bilateral agreements of sharing of intelligence of very high quality, if you like. And in any land battle, Gaurav, I want to make it very sort of specific that India's the land-based approach for last 75 years from the time of independence, it has come against a roadblock because now you are hemmed in by both Pakistan and China in the north. You have no way to progress from this route for any landward sort of trade and commerce. The only place left is the sea, very open area, and we have a geographical advantage. And therefore, naturally, India is focusing on the maritime issue so that as far as, as far as security is concerned, I think Geeta is absolutely right. That if there is a requirement for ensuring safe and secure passage of our trade, and some military force has to be brought together, because in Malabar they have already worked together, the interoperability is already reached a level, and complexities of exercise have already reached a level. And if they have not reached, India is doing bilateral with Japan and Australia, as you would have seen recently, basically to get them all at the same level, because India and US are at a very complex level, because 93 the exercises commenced. So the point is that erecting that...
No, but Admiral Sinha, if you were a Chinese Navy Admiral tonight, Admiral, hear me, if you were a Chinese Navy Admiral tonight, would you be worried about Quad, and if so, why?
Well, at the moment, I wouldn't like to be in the Chinese Navy with this kind of partnership going on amongst the four countries. I would rather be on this side. But yes, it's a matter of worry, and we would have to tell the government that look, let us not be aggressive. Let the wolf warrior should not come down to the sea and become actually a sea warrior, because it's not possible to take on the might of these four countries. I'm very certain about this, and therefore you will find that China making that statement in 2007, they had rubbished. What is these four countries doing? What is the intention? Are they trying to counter China? But now today it is a reality, Gaurav. It has taken about 12 years or 13 years to come to this stage. But I think that the rest of it is not going to take that much of time. It's going to be much sooner. But China, I am sure that good sense will prevail. And it will, get off, from Senkaku, not do any aggressive action in South China Sea or even on the border. But remember, land border fight, we have to do it on our own. While it is a cooperative mechanism at sea, is a possibility, it can happen. If I remind you, Gaurav, that many years ago, in 2007...
When we talk about rule-based order in the South and East China Sea, Admiral, and let me bring in Ambassador Neelam Deo if she can hear me, in case we're talking about rule-based order, does that mean if China misbehaves with Taiwan or Hong Kong or in South and East China Sea, these navies patrol those seas together to send out a signal? Ambassador Neelam Deo, is that what is likely to happen in the weeks and months ahead?
They could actually do some exercises together, and India and the US Navy have done. But I think we have to understand that alliances are to deter aggression. They don't actually get into big fights. So I think that understanding has to be kept in mind. I think it's more the case of conveying to China that we disagree with what you are doing. We are together in this disagreement, and we are coming closer together in many ways. In terms of naval exercises, in terms of our understandings on supply of military equipment, intelligence sharing, a full range of understandings are being developed between the four countries.
That's a very interesting point you make. Ambassador Neelam Deo, Geeta Mohan and Admiral Sinha, for the moment, many thanks for joining me. I now want to shift focus because the fact that this alliance is coming together, Quad countries are coming together, it's meant to send out a signal to China to back off. Bring your hearts together, keep your tents apart, and when you keep your tents apart, you also ensure that you are weaponized, armed, locked, loaded, and ready to strike deep, as the Air Chief said yesterday. The Indian Air Force and the Army, along with DRDO, are working on the supersonic cruise missile BrahMos with an extended range. When India hadn't signed the MTCR, or Missile Technology Control Regime, 290 kilometers was the cap, which is now at 450 kilometers, and working on a supersonic cruise missile that could hit a target in times to come, perhaps even 800 kilometers away. And that is one big message to China. Shiv Arur with this India Today exclusive.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1, now.
The unmistakable roar of the BrahMos. Screaming into the air, this supersonic cruise missile is the fastest weapon in India, and one of the fastest in the world. But this unpublicized test from September 30th, a video of which you're seeing for the first time here on India Today, wasn't just another test of the BrahMos missile. You cannot tell from these dramatic pictures, but the weapon being tested here is a beefed-up BrahMos. While the BrahMos has for long been restricted to a 290-kilometer range, this test last week saw the BrahMos being tested at ranges well in excess of 400 kilometers. Also invisible to the eye are a slew of improvements that make this weapon significantly more stealthy. With this range extension, several more targets come within range of the BrahMos missile, including several air bases, military establishments, and Chinese army depots in Tibet. The speed and stealth of the BrahMos also ensures very little reaction time to its targets. The BrahMos, in simple terms, is now a threat to many more Chinese targets than earlier. BrahMos missile regiments are already deployed in Ladakh and Arunachal Pradesh at this time. With the range extension updates to the missile, they get longer legs. Theoretically, every BrahMos in service can now sport an extended range, including the BrahMos on Indian Navy warships. The air-launched BrahMos from the Indian Air Force's Sukhoi 30 MKF fighters, and most immediately, the Army's large number of BrahMos regiments. The hugely significant extended range BrahMos has been tested up to 400 kilometers, but will ultimately be pushed to over 800 kilometers, making it the most fearsome strike weapon in the Indian arsenal. You can be sure that China has taken note. With Shiv Arur in Delhi, Bureau Report, India Today.
The stronger we are, lesser are the chances of any adversary trying to misbehave with us. Well, that is all we have time for on this special broadcast of India First this evening. Many thanks for watching.
Hi everyone, Preeti Chaudhary here. Hope you like this video. For latest news and analysis, like and subscribe to the India Today YouTube channel. And don't forget to press the bell icon to stay updated. Thank you for watching.